I want to quickly talk to you about a cargo van business owner, and I want to really pay attention to a day in the life of such a business owner. Okay, so here are the generalities. If you are a cargo van business owner, I mean, the thing is that you have to understand that sometimes, depending on the loads that you have to haul for that day, you may have to wake up early in the morning. Actually, I'm speaking about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, maybe to really pack your stuff and really make sure that your loads are safe, right? So it's not about even if you have to actually go to an Amazon depot to actually get your loads for the day, you still need to set up your vehicle. So early morning sunrise, right? The cargo van is actually packed with the kind of loads that you have for the day. And it's important to understand that when you are actually depending on your location, if you are, let's say, in a large metro area or on the countryside, your situation might be different. If you are in a large metro area like New York or LA, for instance, where you have lots of stuff happening, and you also got to think about traffic, you better really start early. But if you are on the countryside and you don't really care about traffic, or you know that this will be like a safe and smooth ride, that you can really take your time. So 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you take care of the loads. I mean, you pack the loads in your vehicle. If you have a cargo van, you know that you have some packing to do. If you have a Sprinter van, for instance, you have more room because a Sprinter van is actually roomier than a cargo van. So then you don't really need to do a lot of not training, a lot of packing beforehand. Okay. So one thing you need to understand is that you might have a long day. You might have a long day. I'm speaking about you can start early in the morning and go all the way to a late evening, depending on the kind of loads you have to actually you have to haul for the day. Okay, depending on the customers that you are actually going to deliver it to as well. So that's an important element to really keep in mind. And so you, as an owner, you prepare for the day. You check your phone for a job schedule, reviewing map routes, packing essentials, all that kind of stuff. So that's actually for the morning routine. Okay. Of course, you got to really put yourself in the right mindset also, physically, mentally, and also emotionally. Then you have to really think about van inspection and prep. So after the packing, you have to inspect your van. Okay. And here, as an owner, you need to inspect the van, checking tire pressure, oil, fuel, cargo space, all these things. You have to do them like automatically. Okay. So it's important to understand that everything from fluids to brakes to tires actually are taken care of. Why? Because downtime means lost income. So around 8 o'clock, once you leave your house, once you leave your apartment, for instance, you got to understand that you need to really drive through traffic. As I said earlier, if you are in a large metro area, you understand that traffic is really a big thing. And again, a little earlier, I said downtime is lost income, but so does traffic. If you have congestion, if you have traffic, that's actually lost income also, depending on the loads you're hauling, depending on your schedule for that day. Okay, because driving through city streets, arriving at different locations, businesses, warehouses, residential. So if you are a van driver, cargo van business owner, you might need to actually deliver loads. You might need to haul and actually unload different packages at different locations. I mean, sometimes when you go to a residential, things are easier. But if you have to deliver to business locations, things can be a little complicated, especially if you are in a large metro area, like if you go downtown and you have to go to, you have to deliver to an address in a building, that really creates extra complications. So, think about that. So that means what? It means you need to really plan extra minutes for those little situations of inconvenience. Okay. So most of my jobs come from local businesses needing reliable delivery. So I carry everything from small packages to bulk items. And the bottom line is, like I said a little earlier, time management is key. okay? Because if you have to unload goods, you have to confirm delivery with customers, you have to scan packages on the phone. Actually, those activities are not paid. Customers just want you to really deliver the products. Once you deliver the products, that's when you get paid, okay? So you need to understand that, let's say, speedy delivery or on-time delivery actually plays an important role in terms of customer loyalty. So what you want to hear is you want customers to say thanks for the timely delivery, really appreciate it, okay? And you want to say maybe no problem, have a great day. That's the kind of conversation you want to have. If you think about the day in the life of a cargo van business owner, from traffic to load packing, you also need to think about handling challenges and problem solving. Because you are a business owner, you're not going to actually go through this economy with no problem. If you have a cargo van business, you are going to solve problems. Okay, and I mean you are. I'm not speaking about problems operationally. Of course, you do have operational problems that will actually pop up every now and then, but you also need to think about non-operational problems. For instance, traffic, navigation issues. Those are things that really have nothing to do with operations, but they're still there. They're still there for you because you don't really deliver in a rural area or in a rural destination. You don't do last mile. Even if you're doing last mile, you still need to really account for traffic. Okay, so if you, as an owner, if you encounter traffic, if you have navigation issues, you have to really, or even a difficult loading situation, you have to account for those. I mean, a difficult loading situation, this is operational. This is logistical, okay? But again, it requires your attention, okay? So things don't always go smoothly. Remember that. Traffic jams, last minute route changes, or heavy loads can slow you down. But being flexible and staying calm is part of the job, especially if you have multiple loads to haul, okay? And so basically one thing you need to understand is that it really helps sometimes to have some kind of help from a dispatcher, for instance, okay? If you going to deliver multiple loads and you have extra help from a dispatcher, at least you have somebody external who can really give feedback or give instructions on a specific route, okay? Because sometimes you might have to reroute on GPS. You might have to look at the current destination or the current itinerary and say, well, there is traffic. The roads are not in good condition. The roads are not in pristine condition. So I need to change my plan for the day. If you're thinking about a day in the life of a cargo van business owner, it's important to understand that you need to have pauses. You need to have breaks, okay? And so remember, you started working from you left your house, or at least you woke up, you got ready around 7 o'clock. So after 4 to 5 hours, it really makes sense to take a break. So that's where the midday break and admin work comes in. So depending on the complexity of your cargo van business, depending on the size of your business, depending on the client list that you have, depending on your area of operation, you might just take a midday break and just chill. You take 30 minutes. Maybe you might want to doze off a little bit, like sleep a little bit in your cargo van, or you can take the time to actually do other stuff. Like you can take a 15-minute break, and the other 15 minutes, assuming that your break actually lasts for 30 minutes, you take the other 15 minutes to actually take care of admin stuff. I mean, I think if you want to be a successful cargo van business owner, you definitely want to make sure that you have some kind of support in the back office. And this can happen if you have a dispatcher, for instance, because some dispatchers can, dispatching services can also take care of the back office work for you. So you don't have to really worry about the admin stuff. You can just focus on driving your van and make money. That's all. But the cool thing is that if basically you take a midday break, you can be at a cafe or a truck stop, grabbing lunch, then doing paperwork or checking your phone for emails, okay? Emails from clients, emails from other stakeholders. Like if you're working for Amazon, for instance, you want to really check your emails to see what's really happening, okay? So our cargo van isn't just driving. Remember that. I spend a good chunk of time on admin. I'm speaking here about invoicing, scheduling, and responding to inquiries. It's all part of running a smooth operations because if those transactions are not being taken care of, you're gonna feel them. You're gonna feel the impact on your cargo van business real fast. So in the afternoon, so once you take a 30 minutes break and you just back on track, you are re-energized or energized. Basically, you have afternoon jobs and expanding business, right? You got to think about how to really expand your business because you're constantly marketing your business. You're constantly looking for new opportunities. You're constantly looking for new customers. I mean, this never ends. Okay, so basically, as an owner, you may have to pick up bigger loads, meet with potential clients, or actually showing off your brand, your van branding. Okay, I'm always looking to grow. I don't care, what city I'm in. I'm always looking to grow. So building relationships with clients and marketing my services helps me get better jobs and expand the business. And I need to really do that because in business, in any type of business, you have ups and downs. Ups and downs. I don't care about the industry you're in this economy, and it has been like this for many decades. So this is not you. This is not just me. No, no, we just a temporary temporary passengers on this journey called Earth. But what I'm trying to say here is that you need to plan for those down days, those down periods. Okay. So this is why you want to expand your business all the time. This is why you want to market your services. This is why you have to really we have to meet potential clients. This is why you have to constantly be on the lookout for new opportunities. Okay. This is why you have to prepare business cards, hand them out to customers, talk with business owners, and showing branded van graphics. It's all about making sure that you have this capability, this ability to get things done. So what I want to say is that as a cargo van business owner, I'm always trying to find new ways to do business. Maybe that means actually joining some local chambers of commerce. Maybe that means that partner with other logistics companies. Okay, because sometimes as a cargo van business owner, you're thinking, oh, the other logistics companies are my competitors, but they're not. Depending on what they're offering, but depending on the loads that they have, they might actually they might complement your business pretty well. So think about how to collaborate as opposed to compete. So the around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, assuming that you're not doing OTR and you want to go home to your family, you have to really like reflect on the day. You need to have an end of day routine, okay? And the end of day routine will depend on the kind of clients you have actually delivered to during the day, the kind of loads you have. Obviously, if you have perishables or hazmats or let's say like reefer, if you're doing reefer products, you don't have the same end of day routine as if you're having regular products. Okay, it all depends on the kind of products you have. So you also want to understand that cleaning out the van it has to be a systematic approach. It has to be a systematic process. I don't care if you actually handled, let's say, sensitive products during the day or just regular products. If you get into a mindset of cleaning out the van every single day, you are ensuring that you have actually health. You put the health first. Okay. So at the end of the day, what I do is I make sure that the van is ready for tomorrow because you're preparing today how to really run tomorrow. Okay. It's tiring but rewarding. So running a cargo van business takes grit, but I love it. I love the independence and the hustle because you're constantly, like I said, you're constantly looking for new customers. You're constantly looking for new opportunities. You're constantly looking for more partnerships. So basically, if you want to be satisfied, you need to really have this routine, but you also need to maybe think about the next day. because the next day, you prepare the next day today, right? If you want to have a successful next day, you want to really have a solid routine at the end of the day. That's an important element to really think about. And also, you have to understand that partnering with other cargo van business owners can actually help you. You can create, for instance, a community where you share ideas, you share tips, you share stuff. As long as you like you with the other cargo van business owners don't compete against each other. It's a good collaboration process. So when it comes to the day in the life of a cargo van business owner, you have to understand that at the end of the day, if you're thinking about starting your cargo van business, remember, consistency, customer service, and hard work are actually essential. Okay, it's one of those things where it wouldn't happen overnight. Success won't happen overnight, but with the right approach, with the right strategy, with the right, I would say, the right routine, you can actually instill a layer of credibility, of accountability in yourself, but also transparency. Okay, so it's an important element to really think about. And so you also want to really pay attention to cargo van maintenance. If you remember a little earlier, I said downtime means income lost. Downtime means lost income. So if you want to avoid downtime, you want to really pay attention to cargo van maintenance. Maybe you can schedule it every 3 months or every 6 months, depending on the mileage that you have, the mileage you run on the vehicles. I mean, the higher the mileage, the more often you have to do maintenance. Okay, and you also want to pay attention to some tools. So I'm speaking about the tech or the apps used for route planning and customer management, CRM, so client relationship management. And you also have basically, if you're a cargo van business owner, you can be a solo, or you can be a fleet manager, or you can be a business owner. It really depends on the kind of setup you have. Okay, maybe you have multiple cargo vans. Maybe you have one. Maybe you have 2, 5, 10. You have 15. So depending on your needs, depending on your client's needs. Okay, but long story short, if you have a team, that means collaboration among team members becomes quite essential. Understanding becomes quite essential. You have to have the right setup to make sure all those team members are being taken care of in terms of their needs, in terms of their collaboration, their how do I say it? Like their needs, but also their contributions being heard and being acted upon. All those things actually matter, and this is how you are going to build a successful cargo van business. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about the day in the life of a cargo van business owner. I gave you the generalities and the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.